So the big question is this: how do you lose all the weight that you want and actually keep it off for the rest of your life, while trying to make sense of all the noise that comes from the weight loss industry? That is the question. And this podcast will give you the answers.
G'day guys, and welcome to the next episode of the Weight Loss Secrets podcast. My name's Baron Grant and I'm wrapped to be with you for another day where we share some ideas, some tips, some secrets, some tricks, something that's going to be able to help you to make changes in your life to lose all the weight you want and keep it off. That's the trick. We've got to keep it off for the rest of your life. Otherwise, what's the point? And before I jump into today's topic, I want you to head to ditchingthediet.com where you can download a copy of my new book. You can get on board with the program. You can click a link and book a call to speak directly with me where I can help you on your journey to be able to lose all that weight that you're after. Okay, so today I want to talk a little bit about numbers, but a little bit about where you should actually get to on a weight loss journey. And the reason that I want to do this is because, like I've mentioned before, I've done thousands of calls with people and there's lots of different views when it comes to how heavy somebody should be. And I will say right at the start, there's no perfect weight for anybody. That doesn't exist. We might think that's the case, but that doesn't exist at all. Right? There are different body types, there are different body shapes. Nobody is the perfect weight. That doesn't exist. So, but I'm going to give some ideas about where we should be, and then I want to talk a bit about the mentality that we should have, because when we lose weight, I think it's really important that it's done for the right reasons. And I would say this: weight loss needs to be more about health and less about looks. So looks are important. It's really, really important, but it is more about the health component, or it should be, than just about the looks. Everybody wants to look their best. 100%, absolutely, it's super important. But if you do it for health reasons, there's more likely a chance that it's going to stick, because it can be long-term sustainable change, not a quick fix diet. Yeah. So that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. I want to start off by talking about some numbers, because when I talk with people about where they want to be, I get all different sorts of things thrown at me. I could be talking to someone who's 130 kilos and they might tell me that they want to be like 90 kilos. The problem with that is that is still heavily overweight. And so that's not a good place to be. But then I'll talk to other people who are 55 kilos and they want to get down to 45 kilos. And I say to them, that's probably too low. You know, you probably don't want to be there because that makes you, for your height and so forth, underweight. So there's a bit of a balancing act. Now you can jump online and look at some healthy weight ranges, right? And it is a range because, like I said, there's no perfect weight for anybody. And you're going to feel comfortable at different points in your life. So, but if you look online, you can find things such as this, you know, a 170 centimeter woman, her ideal weight is somewhere between 58 kilos and 72 kilos. And I would say that's probably a pretty good guide. That becomes into a healthy sort of range. Now, you might be sitting outside of that significantly and you think that's rubbish, that's way too light. Well, it's really not. Once you get into that range, then you reduce your chance of heart disease, you reduce your chances of stroke, you reduce your chances of diabetes, you reduce your chances of lots of that sort of stuff. So that is a healthy place to be. Now you might be way outside that and it sort of seems like a mountain too far to climb. It's not. You can absolutely get there, but that is a healthier place to be than 120, 130 kilos, obviously. For a man, it's slightly higher. Now, I want to talk a bit more about this because sometimes these ranges aren't perfect. So that's just a range, right? So for a man at 180 centimeters, 65 to 81 kilos is a healthy place to be. Now, some people might say that's pretty light. Now, for me personally, I'm about 180 centimeters and I'm about 80 kilos. So I'm at the top end of that. And I wouldn't want, personally, I don't want to go any lighter. So that's a balancing act, right? So it's when we increase muscle mass, in our bodies, then we're going to be heavier, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're unhealthy. So I say there's a range for a reason, and if you're either side of that range, even just outside of that range, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's still a good place to be. But then it becomes to the point of where you're comfortable. So for me, I used to be around 70 kilos, and I didn't feel comfortable there. I felt really scrawny, and I didn't particularly like the way I looked, and I was a bit light on. And that was a number of years ago now, but then I started weight training heavily a number of years ago, and I got to a point where I was a bit more comfortable. I'm no Adonis by any stretch of anyone's imagination, but I put on a bit more muscle mass than what I had before, and that makes me at the top end of a healthy weight range. Now, you can take these sort of ideas of healthy weight range, and then you can go down another step, which is looking at your BMI. So your BMI is your body mass index, which works out what your percentage of body fat might be in your body based on your height and your weight. Now, it's not a great guide because it doesn't distinguish between fat and muscle content in your body. So if we found somebody, whether it be a man or a woman, who is extremely muscular, and they were to get on a scale and check out what their weight is and then put those details into a BMI calculator, it would likely say that that person is overweight or obese, which is clearly not the case because they're just heavier in muscle mass. So that's something that we have to take into consideration as well. So there's lots of variables when it comes to a healthy weight. What I would say though is if you're, for a man or a woman, if you're over 90 or 100 kilos, that's not a good place to be at all. We want to be lower than that. Now, if you're 6'8", you're a bloke and you're 6'8", well, you could probably be closer to 100 kilos and it's not going to be the worst thing in the world, right? So just give me some guides here. So please don't get caught up on the semantics of the exact numbers. What I'm saying is that there's a range that's going to be healthy. And I would encourage you to find that place where you're healthy, and then where in that range you sit determines on what is comfortable. You know, I remember I got to 85 kilos once when I was lifting heavier in the gym, and I was deliberately trying to put on weight, but I didn't really know what I wanted because I'd put the extra weight on just of muscle mass, which was awesome. And then I tried to run and I felt like a slug. And so I was like, this is not really the way that I want to live. I don't want to be big like this because I can't move in the way that I wanted to. I still play sport and I like to be really active and run and ride, and I felt sluggish then because I felt too heavy. So you've got to determine what's a comfortable place for you. And this is where I want to talk just a little bit about other people's view and other people's perception. Wherever you are, you're going to have opinions come at you when you start on a journey to lose weight. And the opinions generally will sound like this: oh, you don't need to lose weight. You're fine just the way you are, right? Or some other people might come at you and say, oh, you need to lose weight. So it can go either way. But the one that I hear the most is when somebody starts on a program and they're told all the time from people that they shouldn't be losing weight. And that's not their business, for starters. They probably don't know anything about it. And so I would ignore those people as much as humanly possible. It's your race to run and you have to feel comfortable. And so your journey is going to be different to somebody else's. You might have 5 kilos to lose, and that's fine. But I had a lady who she wanted to lose 8 or 9 kilos, but she only started at 59 kilos, but she's not a big frame and she's not very tall. And so she got down to 50, 51 kilos and she's absolutely wrapped. She felt like she had, Michelin Man, that's what she said to me, just rolls, because it just showed up on her really, really quickly because she got such a small frame. So everybody is different, and that's really okay. And it's not anybody else's business about how much weight you would like to lose. Now, what I would say though, is some people can get a little bit, a little bit obsessive about it and want to get too light. I mean, in that situation, I would get you to find someone who you think has a good balanced mind, who can be trusted, and go and talk to them and say, hey, I think I need to lose about 5 or 6 kilos. What do you reckon? And they might say, no, you only need to lose 1 or 2. Find someone that you think you can get an honest answer out of, someone that you can trust. to get the correct answer, because you don't want to be going down to low 40s and 45 kilos sort of thing. That becomes way too light for most people. So getting an idea of a range is really, really important. So you can literally jump on any site online and just type in healthy weight ranges. Don't take it as doctrine. Don't take it as that is it. I must be in those numbers. But generally speaking, you want to be somewhere around that number or just under. Even if you take the 58 to 72 for a woman, well, the 72 is the top end. So if you're 75 or 80, you probably got to just at least tip into that top end of that healthy weight. Then we know that you're at a healthier place, and you know what? You'll be much more comfortable in your clothes and everything like that, and just being out and about. So that might just provide a little bit of a guide. Have a look online, healthy weight ranges, and it'll give you your height and a bit of a guide to look between. So, but I promise you that if you look at that stuff, it's going to be pretty close. So use it as a guide. Don't let yourself get caught up in, if I'm 120 kilos, I only need to get to 90. No, that's still not quite enough to be healthy. So got to get the balance right and understand that whatever the number is, if it seems like a long way away, that's okay. You can get it. 100% you can get it. You just got to make the right choices, and it's your journey to get there, but you'll get there. So really what I want you to go away with today is, when we look at your weight loss, is it about your health or is it just about your looks? Remember, if it's about health, there's a better chance that it's going to be long-term sustainable, because it's something that you'll want to keep doing all the time. And so look at where your healthy range is. Try and at least pop in the top end of that and make that as your goal to be able to go and get. And if you're unsure about how much you should be losing, check in with someone that you think you can trust. And happy to check in with me if you like. Happy to chat with you on the phone. You can book a call, as I said, at ditchingthediet.com. But keep it realistic, and you'll be able to get to wherever you want to be. But make sure it's in that healthy sort of range, somewhere close to that at least, and you'll be on fire. You'll be ready to go. We'll talk soon.